Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, August 25th, and I'm your host, Ron Marshalsea. It's great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This week on Norwood News, Foam Day was back for another year. We get to know a new trainer in town during the newest Living Local, but first, this past weekend was the third annual Ron Marshalsea Jr. Wiffle Ball Tournament. This tournament is such a special day for my entire family, and I'm so glad that I can be there to not only participate, but capture this amazing event every single year. The sound of a wiffle ball hitting a bat means a few things. Summer is still here, competition is in the air, and the Ron Marshalsea Jr. Wiffle Ball Tournament is back for another weekend. The Wiffle Ball Tournament raising money for the Ron Marshalsea Jr. Trade Scholarship had another successful year. The 2 days were composed of people aged 16 and over on Saturday the 19th and ages 15 and under on Sunday the 20th. This year, we saw the first ever repeat champions, the White Sox, on Saturday, and the team Dinner with Ryan were our winners on Sunday. NCM talked to Dinner with Ryan about how they felt about their win and playing in the tournament.
It feels great. Luke Walsh, 9 innings on the bump, 2 no-hitters, 1 one-hitter. Just carried us all game. Gabe Hare coming in clutch. Just feels awesome. Summer ball, we played together at our house. We play wiffle ball. Just a great time. If you go to your house, play some.
All the teams played extremely well, with family members and friends cheering them on every single inning. Congratulations to the winners and all the teams for an amazing tournament. Thank you to everyone who came out to support the scholarship and the tournament. A special thank you to Norwood Elks, my mom, sisters, and last but not least, my Uncle Tim and my cousins Timmy and Kerry. The fields would not have looked as good as they did without their help. Everyone is excited for next year, and we can't wait to have everyone back. For Norwood News, I'm Ron Marshalsea. The Recreation Department held their annual Foam Day recently, filled with sunshine, laughs, and of course, foam. NCM talked to Assistant Recreation Director Sam White about this fun-filled annual event.
So today we have our second annual Foam Day. We have all the camps coming together at one up here at Father Max. As you can tell behind me, we're having a great time. We also have inflatables. We're finishing up our Color War week, so we have some powder color poppers as well as a couple bouncy houses. I did start in December of 21, so last summer was my first summer. They did a phenomenal job doing it last summer. We wanted to bring them back this summer, keep the tradition rolling. So typically we do it in 2 locations. We would usually have it one at the Coakley and one up at Father Max when everyone does come together, but with the Coakley construction today, we just wanted to consolidate it to Father Max this year. My favorite part is just seeing the kids have a great time. Everyone's having a blast, so you can't beat that.
We're just having a good time. Last day of camp, officially, we have an extra week, but other than that, this is kind of our big finale. The kids love it. They have a great time during it. They love to see the fire trucks and the firefighters and everything. Honestly, I think they like that more than the foam itself.
I think it's just good public relations. The rec department asks us to help out with this every year. I think if you look in the background, some of these guys seem to be having a little bit more fun than the kids, using their giant squirt guns up there and stuff. My favorite part is seeing all the kids have fun. 2 of my children are actually in camp right now, and they love seeing the fire trucks. Everybody likes seeing the fire trucks. That's my favorite part.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a great summer. Like I said, we do have one more week, so we're finishing up Colors Week this week. Next week is Fun Week, just to give people another option. And it's been a fantastic summer, from the field trips to the day-to-day at camp to our fantastic staff has been doing a phenomenal job. So it's been a great summer.
Coming up on Norwood News, we take a look at a brand new Living Local,
If you're looking for a new place to grab food, some new entertainment, or just curious to see what cool places the town of Norwood has, tune into the Community Channel to see what Norwood has in store. Our Living Local segments chronicle the many different and entertaining spots in Norwood, from your favorite smoothie bowl at the juice bar to a new set of specs at Modern Eyes. Norwood's got something for everyone.
This week's Living Local highlights a brand new gym in the Norwood area. Let's head to AMG Fitness. There is a new trainer and gym in town, and it might be closer to home than you expect. Adam Gold, Norwood resident and part of the class of 2017 at Norwood High, recently opened his own personal training and strength and conditioning business. Adam's goal is to get people where they want to be and give them a challenge while they're at it.
I'm a personal trainer, I'm a strength and conditioning coach, performance coach, and I'm here to help people get better at what they do, whatever that may be. I currently work in a physical therapy clinic underneath doctors of physical therapy who are treating all kinds of orthopedic injuries and ranging from an ACL tear to torn labrum or whatever it may be. So I've learned kind of from the ground up of what it means to rebuild somebody and rehab them. I also have experience working as a strength and conditioning coach, more based towards athletes in a performance setting where we're pushing them to their limit and trying to make them the absolute best they can be on the field, and everything in between, general fitness. I have some experience with the Army National Guard and military setting as well. So I kind of have a broad range of experience in terms of training and fitness and just general well-being. And how that looks in a variety of settings. I would say a lot of the characteristics that I hold have been inspired by the Army, and I bring a lot of those things into what I do every day in terms of being a disciplined person, being neat, being organized, being consistent. I'd say consistency is probably one of the biggest things that they teach you in the military, being able to wake up and do the same like little monotonous chores every day to make sure that the bigger things run smooth. So being able to knock out the monotonous things every day that may not be super fun to do, but that just have to be done to get the bigger mission to work is one of the biggest things that I've came back from after my active duty stint in the Army, which is a 4-month training block with the National Guard. So this venture right here, the AMG Fitness Gym and this small business, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit and always wanted to build something that was my own. That actually started, I would say, through social media. And so that kind of started there, just like creating videos, putting them out there to people and trying to grow an audience and a following. And then transforming that into an actual physical business and a small personal training studio just seemed like a good option to go down, especially in the field that I'm in, myself being a fitness professional and working with people every day. I figured why not use the space that we have, that my family owns, and try to bring people in here on my own and do things the way that I like to do them and set the environment the way that I believe it should be. So far we have 2 clients. I have a 3rd one coming in on Friday this week, and we're building slowly. It's only been 3 weeks now. So it's actually, in terms of what I've been projecting for myself, it's actually right on schedule. We're just in the early stages of building, and at the moment this is a side hustle for me. Eventually it could turn into more of a, like a full-scale gym operation, more of like a commercial space where I have employees and a big operation with a lot more clients. But yeah, right now we're small and just growing every day.
One person part of the growth of AMG Fitness is Angela Pine, a client of Adam's who has been training with him well before he began this venture. She will be the first to tell you that training with Adam is always fun, but never easy.
Training with Adam is a lot of fun. He will push your butt and make sure you don't cut corners, but he's really attentive and also makes the entire process a lot of fun. And he's going to listen to you if you say this is too heavy, but he's also not going to let you kind of psych yourself out and go the easy route. He knows what is good for his customers. The hardest part of training with Adam is when you're tired, he's gonna make you do an extra rep and he's gonna make you do the hardest route sometimes, but that's sometimes what you need. And sometimes you're just tired and you're like, you wanna give up, but he's not gonna let you. Favorite part of training with Adam is just how fun it can be and like all the laughs that come along with it. Like, he's never too serious, and so he's gonna make sure that you're having fun, but also make sure he gets the job done.
All right. Try. I'm located physically in Norwood, Massachusetts. You can find me on social media at AMG Fitness, 2 T's. You can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook at Adam Gold, and at amgfit.org online. My graphic designer, Angela Pine. Shout out Alpine Designs for creating that, and a lot of the logo and the website. Favorite part about being a trainer, I would say just being able to work with people every day and having to physically show up for them is big, because I think in a lot of ways before I started working with people in this type of environment, it's very easy to just coast by. But if you have somebody who you know is relying on you, for example, in the physical therapy clinic, who's relying on you to be motivated and to be like strong for them. So they're coming back from like an ACL rehab and they're on like week 1, they're down in the dumps. And when you can see that, it's like, okay, I gotta show up for them. I gotta put on I gotta bring good energy so that they're motivated to do whatever session we're doing today. And that comes back to me as motivation to show up as a good person that day.
Whether you are looking to continue your workout journey or start at the basics, Adam is reachable through Instagram, Facebook, or right on his website at amgfit.org.
Hi, I'm author Mitchell Zuckoff, and as part of the Morrill Memorial Library Stuart Plumer Author Series, I recently discussed my career as a journalist and an author, and also my latest book, The Secret Gate. The Stuart Plumer Author Series is being presented in memory of avid reader Stuart Plumer, who served on the Board of Trustees of the Morrill Memorial Library for 33 years. This is an ongoing series that will provide you with the opportunity to meet award-winning and best-selling authors as they discuss their latest books.
On Thursday, September 7th at 7 p.m., join author Rachel Kadish as she discusses some of her best-selling novels. Some of these include The Weight of Ink, Tolstoy Lied, A Love Story, I Was Here, and From a Sealed Room. Registration is required for this in-person event. Sign up at norwoodlibrary.org or call the reference desk at 781-769-0200.
This past week, the Middle School Building Committee discussed several aspects of the project, including relocating of the football goalposts and the plans for underground construction for plumbing and electrical. And once that work is complete, construction of the steel beams will begin. It was also stated that there will be no Norwood Day fireworks this year due to the open construction site. The Middle School Building Committee will meet again next month. The selectmen had a packed agenda Tuesday night. They first met with Sarah Dixon to discuss Norwood's participation in the Shared Housing Services Organization and approve the authorization of the intermunicipal agreement. The selectmen also heard a presentation from the Town Meeting Size Study Committee, which highlighted their findings and recommendations. During the Stormwater Utility Committee presentation, Selectman Michael Saad was concerned about the stormwater drainage in South Norwood.
Being new on the board to the committee, am I missing a sheet here for South Norwood? Where is the stormwater management for South Norwood?
The stormwater management system is part of the, in fact there is, it's funny you asked that. Ms. was talking to a resident recently, came to our Hennessy Field meeting asking about stormwater flooding that's appearing on Dean Street, and Mr. Ryan did address that. That part of the ARPA funding includes, I think, a $300,000 plus project to increase the size of the drainage pipe that goes down Dean Street and eventually goes into the Neponset River. So it is all connected, and yeah, it is part of the system for sure.
Well, one of the main streets, Pond Street, always floods. All that water from Poria is coming down, comes right into Pond Street.
Okay, there's a couple of issues involved there. One is that first you need to start at the river and work upstream. You can't do anything upstream until you've done the downstream work first, because otherwise it just causes more flooding other places. There is that project at corner of Dean Street, I think it's Jacob is the other.
Jacobson Drive.
Jacobson Drive. That is on that list already. I don't know what document you're looking at there. It's not one I remember seeing.
This has the whole town except South Norwood.
So the capital projects that we're looking watershed. It wasn't looked at in the Meadowbrook study, but it does need to be looked at for sure. I live in South Norwood. I saw the water gushing out on Washington Street last Friday, and what I would say is that the capital plans that are suggested in the Meadowbrook watershed are necessary, but they're not sufficient. So more planning needs to continue to happen, and funding the operation and maintenance costs and continued planning costs for stormwater will help with that.
But all the water, as you know, that comes over Poiriers on the ward coming down, is coming down from all the way from Walpole Street, all the way down through South Norwood.
So two other points, Mr. Senator. The first is, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're trying to figure out how to pay for it, not what it is that we're going to do. And so what projects are on the list come to us from the DPW. We didn't make up the list. We didn't decide where flood is going to be and not going to be. But we have been clear that the list that we have is not going to solve all the flooding problems in Norwood. So I think you need to talk to the DPW.
Yeah.
I have no problem putting that on the list.
Yeah.
We have to pay for it either way. This is how we pay for it.
All right, next
one. I would suggest, Mr. Sad, because of this very question, I had a conversation with Mr. Ryan about, and there is, certainly on Dean Street, in the area you've talked about, there was a $250,000 project recently to do some catchment basement repair and installation. And Mr. Ryan did give me information on a project that's ARPA funded now that is going to be putting in a new drainage pipe along Dean Street that discharges into the Neponset in the Space Center area, which is being done.
Selectman Plasko raised his concerns about the timeline of this project.
This is the kind of issue you ask for some questions, ask for some clarifications, think about them, decide whether you support them or not. And sometimes when you ask that question, an even more important question comes up to get answered. And you have to look at and study these things a little bit, not one presentation. So I'm certainly not ready to take on this big an idea that fast, but let me throw a couple out. Why so soon? Why the rush? The first couple of years we need to work down the lower end of the Meadowbrook where the project starts. We've already got the ARPA money we're going to use. It's already dedicated for that. We're going to start that part of the project. As we've been saying, nothing upstream, if you will, can be done until you do that anyhow, because no sense to try to rush it down there if there's nothing to handle it. So why this fall town meeting? Why the rush?
Well, I think that it's going to take a long time to get the whole enterprise system set up. Those things don't happen overnight. We need to come up with the rules and regulations. If you want to have exemptions, if you want to have abatements, and I personally think those are important and appropriate. We need to think through those. I think that I know that when we started, all that ARPA money and all those grants weren't there. And so we need to get on with it. You know, we've already put it off since 2004. It's been 19 years already. 15 years in Mr. Sate's place in issues in South Norwood. Why do we want to put it off any further?
Selectman Sad raised numerous questions regarding the fee associated with this project.
Well, let's keep going. Now, what you're talking about all these things so the people out in the public understand, it's kind of a hard water tax. Is that what we're calling it?
Hard water tax?
The roof, the driveway, your patio, everything.
The impervious area, yeah.
It's a hard water tax.
I would not characterize it that way, no.
Okay. So an average house is going to pay XYZ for that hard water tax, whether they use it or not in the whole town.
They cannot avoid using it.
Right, because you're going to tax everybody at a
No,
fee.
no. It's not a tax in the first place.
It's
In the
going to be a
second
fee.
place, you cannot avoid using it because your roof is an impervious area.
No, I know. Some people, like in my neighborhood, we have, our water goes down a retention pond and it stays there. It's a holding tank. We're required to build it.
What do you think's maintaining that pond?
The neighborhood.
The town.
A little bit, not much.
The town.
But it's not much of a cost.
And it's got a pipe in it.
But now,
It's an infrastructure.
Okay, but let's go further now. The Norwood Hospital, if it rebuilds their hospital, did they require them, the planning board, to have a retention pond in their area? How big is theirs?
There's underground tanks
Tubes.
beneath the parking lot.
The tubes, yeah. But all their water is going to come back onto our streets, which we're going to tax them on, and we're going to have all this money being thrown around in
big projects when the little projects aren't getting done. I've got people right here, there's 10 of them, that they're being flooded out and nothing's getting done from 2006.
Well, that's exactly the point of why we haven't been able to fund anything and why we're recommending that we set the current structure up to pay for those.
The Board of Selectmen will meet again on September 12th. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're going to leave you with a list of upcoming events happening in Norwood during the month of August and September. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.